Okay, I'm back. So anyway, her mom lost her job, got laid off. Something we did not expect. Uh, she was really actually pretty good in her company, and it was just, I guess, some cuts, budget cuts they were making. So her and her daughter and I had to, well, she had gotten married previously, so but her husband lived in LA and owned a house down there. So we had to, of course, leave where we were, not ready to go, and because she was moving down to LA, and her daughter and I had to find our own places to live and our own jobs. Her daughter found a place to live immediately and a job, and I was kind of I had found a job. They interviewed me. They said they'd call me back. Blah 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 blah. It was in the photo finishing industry, and pretty much I had done that for 7 years. So I mean that's what I knew. I wasn't really, I think, ready for sales. I was still kind of emotionally going through a lot of stuff, and so I went with what I knew. Not be able to deal with people, just deal with machines and do a good job. Give a good, you know, product and a good service behind the scenes. Um, well, it came down to crunch time, and they hadn't called me. The manager had gone on vacation, and it was like, okay, forget it, you know. So I ended up having to call my parents, who lived back down in San Jose, and basically at that particular time, my parents lived in a two-bedroom apartment, a very small two-bedroom apartment, with my sister, her husband, and her kid. Okay, and this is her oldest daughter, and basically it was kind of like, sorry, son, there's really not a lot of room here. Uh, but it finally came down to crunch time, and I says, "Look, guys, if I don't have a place to go, I'm going to be on the street." So my mom convinced my dad to let me stay, and I moved in. So and I put a lot of my stuff in storage, got rid of a lot of things. Um, I mean, I went from a three-bedroom house that I owned down to a two-bedroom apartment with friends, and then had to consolidate stuff even more and go down to just a bedroom. Um, and I mean, it was crowded. Finally, my sister and brother-in-law and their family, they got their stuff squared away and they moved out. And my parents and I moved here, where the place that you see now. And I've been here since, going to school, working through my emotional problems and traumas and stuff. Now, when I first moved down here, for the first 2 years, I was looking for work and found absolutely nothing. Nobody would hire me. I mean, I felt like I was just blackballed. Um, I finally, last year, got a job at McDonald's, but it was just so stressful. Ended up crying and breaking down at work. I mean, it completely fell apart, and obviously, I was not ready yet. And now they've raised our rent. My parents do not want to move out with me. Um, they feel that I need to move out on my own and whatever. And I mean, there's nothing convincing my mother to change her mind. Um, and I have 2 months now to look for a place of my own. I have been looking. Right now, it has been a week into my search of putting applications online, of putting applications in other places, and absolutely no phone calls. None. Zip, zero. I called one of the places today just to see if they had gotten my thing. I'm going to call them again tomorrow. Um, they said, "Oh, well, we'll have them call you back." Nothing. It is a downer. I am at crunch time at school. I'm actually finishing my high school diploma right now. I have a 4.0. Um, I just took the exit exams. I'm hoping and praying that I pass. I don't think I have. Um, I really wasn't ready for them, so I probably will have to take them again. Um, I mean, I have really just been pushing my mind, and on top of that, trying to deal with my panic attacks without medication or doctor's aid, because right now I still don't have a doctor. Um, and it's just been one thing after another. I feel like I've got a really good rein on my emotional well-being. I meditate nightly. I do breathing exercises. Um, I'm a very intelligent individual. Um, uh, but it just is getting to crisis point. I mean, I am really down to my wire here, where it's going to be I'm living on the street, and there's other factors that I'm not telling you guys that are in there, um, that have to do with some things in my past. Um, they are not who I am, but they are a stigma and a label that I have to live with, because they're what are placed on me. Um, and it is from a mistake that I made in my past. Uh, and that, of course, makes getting jobs more difficult. Um, even though this is something that happened when I was like 19 years old, and I'm like 35. It still affects my jobs today. It affects where not necessarily where I live, although it makes things a lot difficult. Um, it affects. I'm believing it's affecting my job, whether or not I'm getting hired at places. Um, and it's a very sad thing, and I can't fix that problem right now because I don't have the money enough to get a lawyer to deal with that whole issue. Um, I mean, for a lawyer, it would cost me around $6,000 just to retain the lawyer, and that's not including court fees and what have yous, and whether or not they can even help me. Um, so how it is looking now is that I am going to be going to school every day. Well, actually, I only go on Tuesdays for about 3 hours, and then I do most of my stuff on my own. The difficulty of that is I won't really have a place to do any of that stuff. I will be homeless. Um, I can, I can probably go and visit my in-laws, and I can, visit my parents on occasion. Um, my stuff, everything you see here in my room and have seen in my tours, will be put in storage, and yeah, that is my situation at the moment. Uh, Not a fun one. Not one that I want to hear everybody keep saying, keep your chin up, and any of that. And I need to talk some more, so I'm going to keep sharing here. Uh, but again, we're going to end this session. So number 4, here we go. See you in a minute.